Hello everyone, welcome to my vlog. So it's Tuesday morning and of course it's time for another vlog. So today's vlog I would like to dedicate it and talk a little bit about one of the specific backgrounds I'm using for my headshots. And of course I'm talking about using different art. And specifically, I'm going to be talking today about using paintings and prints and stuff like that for my headshots. And I've been receiving a lot of emails and a lot of messages. A lot of people is asking, you know, how this whole thing even become a thing, and you know, how do I approach those people to actually, you know, get access to those art pieces and stuff like that. So I just want to talk about it because I think this is a great idea, and you can really create some stunning headshots using someone else's work. But also on the top of that, that gives you opportunity to collaborate with other people and see what they do, kind of get involved a little bit in their work, and at the same time you can start doing, you know, very unique headshots. And then, you know, for the cinematic style I do, you know, some of those arts they work perfect. And I just want to discuss this because I think this is a really neat idea. And you know, you guys can really start doing some amazing work without even going outside or, you know, try to find something interesting, because most of the time the art itself is so great that, you know, you don't need to do much. You have to just kind of put it behind the subject and you're pretty much ready to go. So how does process look like? So let me start with I'm always trying to search for new stuff. I'm looking online, and you know, if I will see something which is really interesting, have some interesting colors, patterns, you know, things which inspires me, then, you know, I try to contact the artist. And there's of course artists who's gonna say no, and this is not, you know, big of a deal. I always apologize, you know, but most of the time I didn't have too many people who says no. I would say 90% of people kind of, you know, they want to hear more, and you know, like other artists, they want to collaborate. So that's how I approach them. Sometimes, you know, they allow me even to shoot in their location. So let's say they have a studios or stuff like that, they allow me to come in and basically do the shoot. Sometimes they kind of giving me the art and they like, okay, take the art for, you know, a couple days, do the shoot, and you can bring it back. So, you know, you're kind of creating some kind of relationship with those people. And, you know, most of the time I always try to do something back for them. So for example, like, you know, if they allow me to use their art, I always offer to do the headshots for them. And, you know, that also gives me kind of opportunity to, you know, do something different, something unique, test some of those things. So, you know, it's just a matter of approaching those people and basically, you know, just you know, tell them your ideas and tell them what you have in mind and what you want to do. You always want to show them some of your work, and then, you know, that always inspires people because, you know, like every artist, they want to be exposed to the world. And even, you know, the images on the background is a little bit blurred, you always try to kind of incorporate in your social media to showcase and say, look, you know what, I've used that artist, you know, painting or canvas for my background. And you know, usually those guys are super happy with that because that gives them additional exposure. So I just really want to actually share that idea with you guys because, you know, if you're living in the place where you are kind of like thinking, okay, I'm out of ideas and I don't know where to go, I don't want to go to the park, or you know, let's say you don't want to shoot outside and you want to do something unique and different, that I think would be, you know, fantastic idea to, you know, approach some of those folks and try to collaborate with them, because, you know, that's something which you can bring home, you can put on the background and basically lit up a little bit with the light to get a little bit more pop, and you're ready to go and you're creating something really fantastic. So I highly recommend this kind of I would say way of creating cinematic headshots. And I want to show you actually a little bit of behind the scene. I've created headshots recently with like a friend of mine who asked me, like, you know, I'm looking for a new headshot, and you know, like, do you have some ideas? And I approached one of my dear friends, Daniel, who actually lives close by, and he's not only amazing artist, but he's also amazing guy who, you know, like when I told him about his idea, he's like, man, of course, you know, just take whatever you want. He even took me to his gallery and we were just searching to you know, some of his art, and he asked me like, okay, what would work, what you think would be best, and then, you know, we talk about even about the person who I supposed to photograph, you know, what colors, what tones we could use to improve the background. The one thing what I want to say, and you know, like I'm kind of jumping off the topic, but whenever you going to be using any of art, make sure it's not actually glossy, because it's going to give you crazy amount of reflection. And I've learned that over the years that, you know, those I would say pieces of art, they're not going to work as well as, you know, stuff which are more matte, because the reflection is gonna just, you know, I'm not saying ruin the picture, but you're gonna struggle a little bit. So this is something what I would highly recommend. Okay, so I'm not gonna actually go more about this. I think you guys have the general idea how you guys can approach the artist. You guys know, you know, like what you guys can do with this. Always try to pick something which is bigger in size, because that definitely helps you to kind of compress the image and use this as a background. But also there's some other things what you can do with smaller sizes. You can stretch, you know, like you don't want to ruin the background a little bit, but what I want to say is, you know, always kind of aim for something with larger size. And another tip, and I know I'm kind of like jumping back and forth with different things, but I would just want to say that always look for patterns, colors, tone and contrast on the art, because if you have, let's say, one tone color, or you don't have too much contrast, or you know, it's not colorful, that's gonna also reflect the background. So the more colorful it is, the more patterns it has, the more contrasty the art is, it's gonna look way better for the background. Also, you guys notice I've been using sometimes gels, you know, if I see that, you know, I want to give a different tone, or I want to give something additional to the art to create specific mood, then I also kind of trying to you know, add something extra to make this even more interesting. But that's something what you guys can experiment, something what you guys can try and see what works best for, you know, particular shoot or, you know, particular client. But summarizing this whole thing, I want to share this idea with you guys because I think it's fantastic, and you know, you guys can really take this to another level. So feel free to contact me if you guys have any additional questions regarding this. And then meanwhile, enjoy this behind the scenes shoot, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.